What's up, friends? We have made it to Friday, thank God. But the most important thing, we have made it to the first Saturday of college football. Not too many games. I mean, it's what, like 6, 7, maybe 8 games. A couple interesting matchups. Nothing, like we're going to see starting next week. But the important thing is we're finally here. That long off season. I keep my off season occupied with college basketball, college baseball, college softball. That all ends, basketball ends March Madness, but the other two end in June. So that gives you several weeks of trying to figure out what to do. Thank God for media days. That helps, fill the void a little bit, but nothing like this weekend. Great day here in Texas. High school football started last night. There's a rivalry game that's always played the first week of high school football here in Texas. It's Gregory Portland and Cal Allen high schools, which are down by Corpus Christi. Watch that game every year, and Cal Allen always seems to win. The one year I cannot watch it anywhere, Gregory Portland pulls the upset and beats Cal Allen. I think it was like 25-7. I was so pissed I couldn't watch that game. But I'll be streaming a few high school games tonight. I can't wait for that. Can't wait for tomorrow. Let's get into it. We got a lot of news items before we go over tomorrow's game, so let's get right into it. Some injuries. They're not all listed in order. They're just kind of sporadically as they came up. Georgia announces Carson Beck, starting quarterback. They're going to go with Beck. Hey, remember Houston Nutt, coach for Arkansas and other places, and he's been an analyst on CBS Sports for a while. I enjoyed him. He brought a lot to the studio show. He's stepping down. He wants to spend more time with his family, so you won't see Coach Nutt on CBS Sports anymore. Who knows? Maybe a little, every once in a while. Who knows? This one kind of, I don't know, say upsets me. Just kind of like you read this and you heard about it, you're like, really? God, that sucks. After 2025, TCU and SMU are pausing their 102-year-old rivalry. Fort Worth and Dallas, not too far from each other. They've been big rivals for years. Call their game the Iron Skillet game. But it's gonna pause. So who knows when they're gonna pick that back up. At the time of that story, SMU was kind of wondering, what are we going to do? We're going to go to the Pac-12. We're going to go to the ACC. They just didn't know. We'll go over some of that here coming up with some news that just came up in the last few days. But yeah, right now, TCU and SMU, after 2025, they're going to put a pause on that rivalry. I don't like it, but hey, they're doing it for whatever reason. Florida running back Cam Carroll out for season, knee injury. That's gotta suck that you've been waiting so long to get to this point in August. Season's right around the corner, and you get hurt and you gotta miss the year. I mean, that happens to a lot of players every year. Sucks. Man, that just sucks so bad, but I don't know, man. I guess that's life. Wisconsin center Jake Renfro and tight end Riley Nowakowski will miss a game or two due to foot injuries. Coach Fickle says they will be back, just not sure when. Quarterback Peyton Thorne, remember him? Michigan State transfer from Michigan State. He wins the starting job at Auburn. The wishy-washy ACC now discusses adding Stanford, Cal, and SMU. We mentioned SMU a few moments ago. They were looking for a home. Well, I mean, they got a home, but I guess they want a better home. Well, now the wishy-washy ACC says, well, you know what? Maybe we might take those teams. Because I'm thinking a lot of those teams in the ACC aren't happy. But I don't know. Crazy stuff that goes on over there. Reggie Bush files a lawsuit against the NCAA. Claims the NCAA maliciously attacked his character for their claiming he was involved in pay-for-play back in the day. Back then, it's still a no-no, but they're getting around it. We all know they're getting around it. Back then it was a big no-no when the NIL wasn't around. So pay attention to that story, I guess, if you want. Michigan Head coach Jim Harbaugh, he will serve a self-imposed suspension. He will miss time on the sidelines as a result of the NCAA case. I believe it was recruiting violations, if I remember right. But for 3 games, East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, first 3 games of the season, he was like, yeah, I'll serve my suspension now. I think if you really want to make a dent in this kind of stuff, you got to pick what games they're going to be suspended for, you know? Maybe come in there and say, no, you ain't coaching against Ohio State. You screwed up. But if you let the coaches pick, I mean, you know, isn't it kind of like the criminal picking his own sentence at trial? You know? Yeah, Judge, I'll take the 1 month for robbing 14 banks. The 1 month, they'll teach me a lesson. Iowa quarterback, Cade McNamara. Remember him? Transfer from Michigan. Questionable for opener because of a leg muscle issue. Running back for Georgia, Branson Robinson, missed the season, knee injury. Man, sucks that happens in fall camp. Big 12 commissioner Brett Yormark, he tells Texas Tech to beat Texas. Send them out of here with a loss. I'm pretty sure Texas Tech, that was their whole game plan the whole time, but good the commissioners are reinforcing that. NCAA suspends Iowa defensive tackle Noah Shannon for the season for his involvement in the sports betting. Remember all that? Iowa State, and a couple other schools, I think, were involved. Well, they suspended him for the season. Iowa says they're going to appeal the decision. Stay tuned for that. Washington loses running back Cam Davis for the season. Lower body injury. God, that sucks, man. I cannot imagine. Us as fans, it sucks when you hear a good player on your team. He's out for the season back in August. I can't imagine what goes through those players' heads, man. Training hard, working hard, ready for a great season, and this happens. God, remember what was that, a couple years ago? 2-3 years ago, Georgia, they lost like just about their whole receiving core in fall camp. Still won the national championship, but yeah, they were going down like flies that summer. Sad news here. Still haven't heard what happened. Ex-Arkansas and Houston Cougar forward Reggie Chaney passed away at age 23. No cause of death given, or at least there hadn't when I saw the story. Man, 23 years old. God. Prayers for him and his family and his friends, man. That is just horrible. 23 years on this earth is just not enough. USC, they hired Washington athletic director Jennifer Cohen as their new athletic director. Kansas and Illinois, hey, they're scheduling a charity basketball game to raise money for the Maui wildfire victims. Kudos to them. It's going to be October 29th in Illinois. So good for them. Trying to help out there, all that horrible stuff going on there in Hawaii. 2-time Big Ten wrestling champion from Ohio State, Sammy Sasso. I think that's how you say his last name. S-A-S-S-O, Sasso. Man, he was shot near campus last Friday. Didn't see what happened, what was going on. Few details about it, but he is recovering in the hospital, so that's good, but jeez. Northwestern, they got themselves a new baseball coach after firing the old one for, we'll tell you here in a minute. Ben Greenspan, new baseball coach. He was assistant head coach in Michigan. The Northwestern fired Jim Foster, along with Pat Fitzgerald, over a month ago for bullying and toxic environment allegations. Northwestern, their baseball team, it's maybe a good thing for the baseball team because I haven't seen them in any World Series or Super Regional. I don't think they've been to a Super Regional in a while, so it could be good. Hey, last bit of news. South Carolina gives baseball coach Mark Kingston an extension and a raise. The extension is through 2027. Salary will be $725,000 a year. Not bad for a baseball coach, huh? It's not millions of dollars like a football coach, but hey, almost there. Win a couple World Series, you might be over $1 million as a baseball coach. All right, so tomorrow, thank God, it is here. Like I said, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we got 10 games. Some interesting ones here on here. It's not like a knock dead Saturday. Remember years ago, they would do that kickoff Saturday, usually the last week of August, like now. But man, you have some good matchups. One year you had Ohio State and Texas Tech, and that was the game that Maurice Clarett kind of broke out, and people were talking about him. Damn good running back, but he kept getting hurt that season. I think with a shoulder stinger or something. But man, when he was on, he was on. And that was that game. That was the first game I ever saw that guy play. I was like, wow, this guy's awesome. Then he went off the deep end. I don't know. I think his little brother went off the deep end too, along with him. And then we also had one year we had Penn State, Miami. They played the Meadowlands one year. That one. We used to have a lot of good games on that first Saturday, but over the years it's kind of, yeah. All right, so the first one is going to be, this is all Central Time, so check your TV listings. 1:30 Central, NBC, Navy versus Notre Dame, playing in Dublin. I'm not big on this going overseas or different countries to play. Kind of really not into the whole, whatever you call it, when the two teams meet somewhere. You're kind of taking away a home game, in my opinion. I don't know why they do this. I don't know if they're made to do this. You know, NCAA makes them do it or what. But I'd be pissed I'm losing a home game. Anyway, they're playing in Dublin. Navy, Notre Dame. Navy averaged 241 rushing yards, 86 passing yards, 327 total yards last season. Notre Dame averaged 189 on the ground, 207 in the air, 396 total yards a game last season. That's really the only early game. Most of them are from the late afternoon into the evening. So that moves us to 4:30 Central, CBS Sports. UTEP versus Jacksonville State. The Miners averaged 167 on the ground, 218 in the air, 385 total yards last year. Jacksonville State averaged 251 rushing yards, 173 passing yards, 423 total yards on the season last year. 6 p.m. Central, ESPN, UMass versus New Mexico State. Massachusetts averaged 149 on the ground, 117 in the air, 266 total yards last year. New Mexico State, who had a decent year last year, finally for once, averaged 162 on the ground, 169 in the air, 331 total yards last season. 6 p.m. Central, Ohio, San Diego State. Ohio Bobcats, they averaged 143 rushing yards, 278 passing yards, 421 total yards last season. San Diego State averaged 144 on the ground, 182 passing yards, 325 total yards last year. 6:30 p.m. Central, SEC Network. Hawaii and Vanderbilt. Maybe what's going on over there will inspire Hawaii to come over to the mainland, have a great game. We'll see. I thought they were going to be great last year with Timmy Chan coming back, but not so. Hawaii averaged 137 rushing yards, 206 passing yards, 343 total yards last season. Vanderbilt, 160 rushing yards, 187 passing yards, 347 total yards last season. This, if I remember right, this was the first game of last year, and it was in the morning, like 11 a.m. Vanderbilt went over there to Hawaii to play. And Hawaii, they got, they're not playing in Aloha Stadium anymore. They're playing on campus now. Timmy Chan coming back. Fans were excited. I thought this was going to be a good game, and it actually was for the first half. It was only a 10-point game at halftime. And I don't know what happened in that Hawaii locker room or the Vanderbilt locker room. But Vandy scored 42 unanswered in that second half, 163-10. 35 of those points were scored in the third quarter. I was like, God, what the hell's happening here? So not a good start for Hawaii, but hey, we'll see what happens. Totally different year. Players are gone, new players. We'll see what happens. 7 p.m. Central on the Pac-12 Network. Who knows how much longer that's going to be around. San Jose State playing USC. San Jose State averaged 96 rushing yards last season. Hope they got that fixed in the offseason because you're going to need it against USC. But hey, 273 passing yards last year. That ain't bad. 368 total yards last season. USC, 171 rushing yards, 335 passing yards, 507 total yards a game last season is what they averaged. 8 p.m. Central, CBS Sports. Florida International versus Louisiana Tech. FIU averaged 105 rushing yards, 219 passing yards, 324 total yards last season. Louisiana Tech, 125 rushing yards, 267 passing yards, and 392 total yards last season. So, that's not all the football, though. You do have some FCS games. I like FCS football. If you like it, maybe you can check these out. 2:30 Central on ABC. North Alabama versus Mercer. 6 p.m. on Flow. Fordham versus Albany. And then 6:30 p.m. on ABC. ABC's got a double hitter. Jackson State versus South Carolina State. I wonder if that's at a neutral site, because didn't ABC, their first game was a FCS game, wasn't it, and played in Atlanta or something like that? But I don't know. I didn't see exactly where it was played. So that is it. Yeah, we got what? Will we have 10 games? Well, 12 or 13 with FCS. Man, have a great weekend. It's Friday. Stay busy so the rest of the day goes by fast. Hope it's not too hot where you are. We're in day here in Southeast Texas. We're in day 8,704 of a drought with no rain, so our yards are all dying and getting tired of this. Ready for fall. I'll take a good hurricane right now. Being here in Texas Gulf Coast, I'll take a damn good hurricane right now to soak our lawns and our trees and everything. But I don't know. Anyway, hey, hope the rest of the day goes by fast. Have a great weekend. Be safe. We will be back next week to I'll review whatever games I watched, and then we'll go over the big games for this first weekend. We'll see you back. Have a good one.